Oh, okay. We are here for the 1,645th meeting of the Board of Trustees. Ask for a roll call, please.
All right, Mr. Watson.
Present.
Mr. Wabi is not checked in yet. Mr. Nikozison.
Present.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Fair.
Yes.
Mr. Evans.
Yes.
All right, we have a quorum.
Can I get a motion to approve the journal of the preceding meeting, April 8th, 2021?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Comments by the chair? I have none. Let's go to the report of the board committees. I will start with the Program Management Committee report. Program Management Committee met on May 4, 2021 at 7:30 a.m. The meeting was attended by trustees Evans, Wilson, Fair, Wabi, Watson, and Nikozison. The minutes of the March 30, 2021 meeting were approved. The agenda items to be introduced tonight were presented and discussed, including a detailed discussion regarding the following items. Ordinance number 15660. Staff requested authorization to enter into an agreement and to award a CSO volume reduction green infrastructure grant to Fresh Coast Capital LLC, Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church, for the construction of 5 bioretention basins. The construction of these basins will reduce runoff to the combined sewer system tributary to the Mississippi River. The project complies with the district CSO long-term control plan and the consent decree. Ordinance number 15666, emergency repair number 065. Staff provided updated details on this emergency repair sewer project located adjacent to the district's Lime Pump Station number 1. The executive director declared the emergency and notified the board on October 26, 2020. Staff refreshed the board on the issue and immediate concerns. Staff discussed the current measures in place and ongoing repairs. Staff is requesting supplemental funds for the repair of $500,000. The additional funding is to continue repair work on an additional cave-in discovered during the original repair. The appropriation will bring the total appropriation to $3 million. Staff is requesting introduction and adoption of this ordinance at tonight's meeting. Ordinance number 15667, easement condemnation request. Staff gave an update on the status of the easement acquisition on one parcel of ground for the Earth City Expressway pump station replacement project on tonight's agenda. The current property owner has been unresponsive to district staff. Staff will continue to coordinate with the property owner, but is seeking approval to move forward with condemnation efforts to keep this project on schedule. Resolution number 3665, Force Main Evaluation Program. Staff presented details of this operations to support professional services contract being renewed this month. This contract aids and supports in the ultimate delivery of the consent decree and asset management requirements of the district. This is the second renewal of the 6-year contract. Another business committee requested an update to the Jefferson Barracks Tunnel consent decree project. Staff responded they will give an update at the June committee meeting. The next committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for June 1, 2021. The meeting was adjourned at 7:53 a.m. Finance Committee report, please.
This is the Finance Committee report from May 4th, 2021. The Finance Committee met on May 4th, 2021 with trustees Fair, Evans, Wabi, Wilson, Watson, and Nikozison in attendance. The minutes from the March 30th, 2021 meeting were approved. The first item on the agenda was a report by staff on the district's operating fund portfolio as of April 30th, 2021. Staff stated that the portfolio complies with the district's investment policy. Next on the agenda was a resolution authorizing staff to enter into the 4th and final option year of the contract with Brown Smith Wallace to provide internal audit services to the district. This will be resolution number 3666 on tonight's agenda. The next topic addressed was an update on adjustments to the district's fiscal year 2022 preliminary budget. Staff indicated that the Finding of Fact Board Committee has been established to consider the level of the district's proposed 2021 property tax levies. Also included on tonight's agenda is the introduction of the fiscal year 2022 budget as discussed at the March 30th and May 4th Finance Committee meeting. This will be ordinance number 15671 on tonight's agenda. Next on the agenda was an ordinance authorizing staff to approve new wastewater user charge rates based on the Rate Commission recommendation accepted by the Board of Trustees. This will be ordinance number 15669 on tonight's agenda. Staff discussed the introduction of an ordinance to establish the district's 2021 property tax levies to be applied to customers' real and personal property assessed values to produce required revenues for stormwater operation and infrastructure projects. This will be ordinance number 15670 on tonight's agenda. Staff also stated that a public hearing to review the fiscal year 2022 budget, taxes, user charges, and CIRP is scheduled as required by charter tonight after this meeting. Next, the Adjustment Review Committee for the quarter ended March 2021 was presented as required by ordinance. Staff also reported on the current financial condition of the district, indicating that it continues to be financially stable. The meeting adjourned at approximately 8:20 a.m. The next tentatively scheduled meeting is Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. This concludes the Finance Committee report.
Thank you. Stakeholder Relations Committee report, please.
Okay, the Stakeholder Relations Committee met on May the 4th, 2021 at district headquarters, approximately 8:25 a.m. Those present at the meeting included Chairperson Wilson, Trustee Evans, Fair, Nichols, Eisen, Wabi, and Watson, as well as the district directors and staff. Chairperson Wilson called roll and had no further comments. By motion of all trustees, the minutes of the March 30, 2021 Stakeholder Committee meeting were approved. The first agenda item was a discussion by Tracy Coleman regarding a resolution for the appointment of a civil service commissioner. Resolution number 3669 will formally acknowledge Marianne Sims to the Civil Service Commission for a 3-year term expiring on May 13th, 2024. She will be eligible for a second 3-year term expiring May 13th, 2027. The next item was a discussion by Tracy Coleman regarding ordinances for the district's risk and liability insurance coverage programs. The various plans are the auto liability insurance program, B, blocked main and overcharged line backup insurance program, C, combined liability insurance program, D, commercial crime insurance coverage, E, contractor equipment inland marine insurance program, F, cyber liability insurance program, G, excess flood and earth movement insurance coverage, H, excess and umbrella liability program, first, second, and third layers, I, excess workers' compensation insurance coverage, J, fiduciary liability insurance coverage, first and second layers, K, major facility pollution liability insurance coverage, L, national flood insurance program, M, owner's pollution protection insurance program, N, property and boiler and machinery insurance coverage, O, public officials excess liability, and P, underground storage tank insurance. These ordinances will provide financial protection from catastrophic losses and damages caused by policy indicated events and claims. These are ordinances numbers 15672 through 15690 on tonight's agenda. The next agenda item was a discussion by Brian Holscher regarding a resolution for the Juneteenth holiday. Resolution number 3668 will designate June 18th, 2021, and future dates of June 19th as a district holiday, a special holiday. Is that a typo?
And future, I think it's future Juneteenth days as a district special holiday,
Okay,
whether they
that's what
fall
that-
on the 19th or not.
Okay. As a district special holiday. The last item on the agenda was a discussion by Brian Holscher regarding a resolution and review of the Board of Trustee rule. Resolution number 3667 will update the board rules pursuant to voter-approved charter changes. The meeting was then adjourned by Trustee Wilson at approximately 8:55 a.m. The next meeting date is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, June the 1st, 2021. This concludes the Stakeholder Relations Committee meeting board comment report.
Thank you. Next is a report of the executive director.
And I have no comments.
All right, comments from the public.
We did receive one comment. It was a billing question, and since it has already been resolved, we were planning to just enter the letter into the record along with a note that it was resolved, and then we can follow up with the board with the resolution. It was helping somebody set up auto pay.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right, next is a submission of public hearing reports. Seems to be none.
None.
Communications, none. Move on to the consent agenda.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. The consent agenda tonight is items 10 through 23. Is there any board member who would like to pull an item for a separate vote? Hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Given the motion and second, Mr. Watson.
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Fair.
Yes.
Mr. Evans.
Yes.
All right, we'll then move on to new business. As always, we'll start with ordinances. First one is item 24, the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15660, authorizing the district to enter into an agreement with Fresh Coast Capital LLC, doing business as Green Print Partners for cost sharing for green infrastructure construction and the CSO volume reduction green infrastructure Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church project in the city of St. Louis. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 25 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15661, authorizing the district to enter into a construction contract with 2 Alpha Contracting for green infrastructure construction in the Euclid 4130 and 4136 bioretention CSO value reduction green infrastructure project in the city of St. Louis. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 26 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15662, making an appropriation of $225,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for storm sewer construction in the Mini Avenue to Greenhaven Storm Sewer Separation Project in the cities of Jennings and Floridale Hills, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Aztec Construction Specialties. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 27 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15663, making an appropriation of $3.1 million from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for sanitary sewer construction and private I&I removal in the White and Rosalie I&I reduction and Bridgeport sewer separation project in the city of Brentwood, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Fred M. Luth & Son. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 28, the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15664, making an appropriation of $1,050,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for sanitary sewer construction in the Park Drive Sanitary Relief Phase 2 project in the cities of Pagedale, Greendale, and Normandy, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Pace Construction Company. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 29 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15665, making an appropriation of $340,000 from the district-wide stormwater fund to be used for channel stabilization in the Stanwood Drive and Bellwood Drive storm sewer and bank stabilization project in the city of Normandy, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Above and Below Contracting. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 30, introduction and adoption of proposed ordinance number 15666, making a supplemental appropriation of $500,000 from the emergency fund to be used for emergency repair in the Emergency Repair 65 project in the city of St. Louis, and authorizing the district to appropriate additional funds to a contract with KCI Construction Company. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Do I hear an objection to the suspension of the rule? Hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 31, the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15667, declaring the necessity for the acquisition of easements and temporary easements in certain real property within the district for the purpose of construction of sewers and related appurtenances in the project known as Earth City Expressway Pump Station Replacement in unincorporated St. Louis County to serve needs of the residents of the area, and authorizing staff to proceed with further condemnation efforts related to the project. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nikozison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 32, the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15668, making a supplemental appropriation of $1 million from the Sanitary Replacement Fund to be used for designing the Deer Creek Sanitary Tunnel Pump Station project in the city of Shrewsbury, and authorizing the district to amend a contract with Parsons Water and Infrastructure. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 33 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15669, repealing and superseding ordinance 15418 adopted June 11, 2020, and enacting a new ordinance in lieu thereof for purposes of providing funding for the wastewater system. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 34, the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15670, repealing ordinance 15512 adopted September 20th, 2020, and enacting a new ordinance in lieu thereof, adjusting the previously fixed taxes by determining the amount of taxes that shall be levied, assessed, and collected in the year 2021 on all taxable tangible property in the district within the corporate limits of the city of St. Louis and St. Louis County respectively, and in sub-districts within the corporate limits of St. Louis County as follows: Coldwater Creek Trunk Subdistrict, Graveway Creek Trunk Subdistrict, Maling Creek Trunk Subdistrict, Watkins Creek Trunk Subdistrict, Subdistrict number 89, Subdistrict number 342, Subdistrict number 366, Subdistrict number 367, Subdistrict number 369, Subdistrict number 448, Subdistrict number 449, Subdistrict number 454, Subdistrict number 455, Subdistrict number 1 of the River de Pere Watershed, and Subdistrict number 7 of the River de Pere Watershed. And the Board of Trustees, in accordance with Charter Section 7.310, authorizes the Director of Finance to certify as to the amount of taxes. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 35 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15671, repealing and superseding ordinance 15420 adopted June 11, 2020, and making appropriations for the current expenses of the district in the general fund, the water backup insurance and reimbursement fund, the general insurance fund, the sanitary replacement fund, stormwater operations, maintenance, and construction improvement funds, the emergency funds, the debt service funds, and the wastewater revenue bond service funds for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2021, and ending June 30th, 2022. Amounting in the aggregate to $358,145,595 to pay interest falling due on bonds issued, the cost of support, operation, and maintenance of the district and its various sub-districts and emergencies, and shall state the district's objectives for the succeeding 5 years and include objective targets by which to measure the district's performance in meeting these objectives in accordance with the requirements of this proposed ordinance. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
All right, so items 36 through 54 are all for insurance coverage for the period covering July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. If there are no objections, I'd like to just read each item and then take one vote for the group. All right, hearing no objections. First one is item 36, the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15672, awarding a contract to FM Global Insurance Company for the district's property and boiler machinery insurance coverage. Item 37 is the introduction of proposed ordinance 15673, awarding a contract to FM Global Insurance Company for the district's Essex Flood and Earth Movement insurance coverage. Item 38 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15674, awarding a contract to Missouri's Public Entity Risk Management Fund, or MOPRM, for the district's combined liability insurance coverage. Item 39 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15675, awarding a contract to the Phoenix Insurance Company for the district's auto liability insurance program. Item 40 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15676, awarding a contract to Ace American Insurance Company for the district's public official excess liability coverage. Item 41 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15677, awarding a contract to Princeton Excess and Surplus Lines for the district's excess umbrella liability insurance first layer coverage. Item 42 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15678, awarding a contract to Gemini for the district's excess umbrella liability insurance second layer coverage. Item 43 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15679, awarding a contract to Lexington for the district's excess umbrella liability insurance third layer coverage. Item 44 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15680, awarding a contract to Travelers Indemnity Company for the district's cyber liability insurance program coverage. Item 45 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15681, awarding a contract to AIG Specialty Insurance Company for the district's owner's pollution protective insurance program coverage. Item 46 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15682, awarding a contract to Markel American Insurance Company for the district's contractors, equipment, or inland marine insurance program. Item 47 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15683, awarding a contract to Travelers Casualty and Surety Company of America for the district's commercial crime insurance coverage. Item 48 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15684, awarding a contract to Federal Insurance Company for the district's fiduciary liability insurance coverage first layer. Item 49 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15685, awarding a contract to Travelers Casualty and Surety Company for the district's fiduciary liability and insurance coverage, second layer excess. Item 50 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15686, awarding a contract to Midwest Employers Casualty Company for the district's excess workers' compensation insurance coverage. Item 51 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15687, awarding a contract to Iron Shore Specialty Insurance Company for the district's block main and overcharge line backup insurance coverage. Item 52 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15688, awarding a contract to Missouri Underground Storage Tank Insurance Fund for the district's underground storage tank insurance coverage. Item 53 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15689, authorizing the district to execute all documents necessary to procure flood insurance for the National Flood Insurance Program for the building and contents at certain specified district locations. And item 54 is the introduction of proposed ordinance number 15690, awarding a contract to Iron Shore Specialty Insurance Company for the district's major facility pollution liability insurance coverage. So for items 36 through 54, is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
All right, item 55 is the introduction and adoption of proposed ordinance number 15691, repealing ordinance 15421, adopted May 14th, 2020, enacting a new ordinance in lieu thereof prescribing the salary of the Secretary Treasurer of the district. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Take that as a motion and second. Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
All right, do I hear an objection to the suspension of the rule? Hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move to resolutions. The first one is item 56, the adoption of resolution 3659, expressing the Board of Trustees' appreciation to Kurt H. Bussmann for his 18 years of exemplary service to the district from October 7th, 2002 to his retirement effective May 1st, 2021. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 57, the adoption of resolution 3660, expressing the Board of Trustees' appreciation to Michael R. Dooley for his 23 years of exemplary service to the district from June 23rd, 1997 to his retirement effective May 1st, 2021. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 58 is the adoption of resolution 3661, expressing the Board of Trustees' appreciation to Kenneth M. Gambaro for his 32 years of exemplary service to the district from August 1st, 1988 to his retirement effective May 1st, 2021. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 59 is the adoption of resolution 3662, expressing the Board of Trustees' appreciation to Joseph W. McClafferty for his 34 years of exemplary service to the district from October 13th, 1986 to his retirement effective May 1st, 2021. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 60 is the adoption of resolution 3663, expressing the Board of Trustees' appreciation to Anaceto or Andy R. Ramirez for his 27 years of exemplary service to the district from August 16th, 1993 to his retirement effective May 1st, 2021. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 61 is the adoption of resolution 3664, expressing the Board of Trustees' appreciation to Kimberly R. Rumpsa for her 13 years of exemplary service to the district from February 4th, 2008 to her retirement effective May 1st, 2021. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 62 is the adoption of resolution 3665 to exercise option year 2 of a contract previously authorized by ordinance 15206 adopted July 11th, 2019, which authorized the district to enter into a contract with Pure Technologies to provide professional services in the Force Main Evaluation Program Support Professional Services Agreement project in St. Louis City and St. Louis County. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 63, the adoption of resolution 3666 to exercise option year 4 of a contract previously authorized by ordinance 14696 adopted July 13, 2017 that authorized the district to enter into a contract with Brown Smith Wallace to provide internal audit services for the district. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 64, the adoption of resolution 3667 to update the present rules of the Board of Trustees governing its procedures as adopted, that were adopted by the board November 10th, 2010, through Resolution 2941. This is mostly due to charter changes. Is there a motion for adoption?
So
So-
moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 65 is the adoption of Resolution 3668 to designate Friday, June 18th, 2021, and future June 19th as a special holiday. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Item 66 is the adoption of Resolution 3669, identifying and designating a civil service commissioner to serve on the Civil Service Commission of the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District per Section 8.020 of the Charter Plan of the district. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
And item 67, last one, adoption of Resolution 3670 to recognize trustee Jim Fall, who served on the Board of Trustees of the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District from April 22nd, 2013 to August 14th, 2020, having held the position of both chair and vice chair of the Board of Trustees. Trustee Fall's strong leadership, knowledge, and expertise imparted direction and stability to the district, and contributions serving as chair of the Program Management Committee, chair and vice chair of the Stakeholders Committee, and chair of the Pension Committee assured a continued diligent focus on the district's fiscal matters. The district and the people it serves herewith express its sincere appreciation and gratitude to Trustee Fall for his service on the Board of Trustees and for his many contributions. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
And there is no further business. Here.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody.